Welcome everybody to another episode of the Kick and Make Up MMA show, episode 8, July 17th. It's a hot one, 100 degrees.
It's a burner outside today, and we're about to give you a burner of a show too. So.
Right. I'm the host, the American Hybrid, Nick Cunningham. With me as always, Jeremy JD Dorsey. What's going on, man? Why don't you drop some knowledge on everybody of where we're at, what's going on today, man?
We are in, I believe this is still Moline, isn't it?
This is Moline.
Yeah, Moline.
Right.
Parkside Bar and Grill. We've been fortunate enough to be able to establish a little bit of a working relationship with Parkside, and we're going to be doing some upcoming UFC pre-show, post-show events, hopefully starting with UFC 163 on August 3rd.
Right.
So you'll be able to go to our site and watch us do a little bit of pre-show, then watch the fights, and then watch us do a little bit of post-show. So it'll be kind of cool. You'll see all the people floating around in the background, and you know, it's usually packed here when they do UFC events. So it'll be pretty awesome.
Right, man. I'm ready for that. Ready for some people coming in and out, and everybody. That's all right.
Go right ahead.
No, that's all right. We're good. We were just talking about people coming through, and that's the whole thing about the bar situation, that we're gonna have that. We're gonna have that in. We're from Moline. Yeah, we're gonna have that a lot more going on in the show. Like I said, we're here on lunchtime, so I mean, just the fact that that's hilarious that happened, and that's gonna happen more and more with the UFC nights. I mean, it's obviously fight night. It's gonna be crazy here. Yeah. So
you might see us off our square a little bit, but I mean, I love it. I love seeing the people come through, and you know, people want to peep in and give a wave to all the fans. So that's cool with me.
Right. I hope I smiled at her when she was trying to talk to us. We're gonna find out. I feel like I was like a glare, and then I was like, wait a minute, we can roll with it, like whatever. But let me get the particulars out of the way before we get into the show today. kickandmakeup.com is the website, so go there and watch our archive show. Any articles I've had from Ola America newspapers are on there too, and like I said, we try to you do a good job keeping everything current. Had some people watch last week's show, really enjoyed it, so that's good to hear. kickandmakeup@gmail.com is how you can get a hold of us via email. Let us, anything and everything, pictures, fights you have coming up, any information, a little bit more professional that way. If you want to do the quick social media stuff, it's at Hybrid MMA is mine, and the show's is at Kick and Make Up. So that's the Twitter route. The Facebook route is what we had the most success with so far, with our kickback section too, of you guys giving feedback. So just go to the search bar for Facebook and type in Kick and Make Up. Don't kick it. I almost said just kick the computer, and then you get right to our site. No, just type it in, Kick and Make Up.
We're working on that technology.
Man, I feel like that we will have a whole different setup if we get onto that, man. We'll be in space floating around doing the podcast from doing the show from there. Right. But anyway, so that's how you get a hold of us on those avenues. Thanks to everybody that's already done that as far as the Facebook page too. We've had some fun doing some chatting back and forth.
Oh yeah.
And gave some shout outs last week. Alvaro Macias and Gilbert Venegas, give you guys some shout outs again. So yeah, definitely get involved with that. Everything's going well. So with that said, let's get into let's do this intro real quick, man.
Yes.
And I know me and you, man. Yes. It's no secret to our friends out there that we are part nerds at times, and I don't really care. It's cool.
Yep.
Goes hand in hand. I think fighting and action movies and comic book movies, X-Men, all that stuff, they go hand in hand. So our intro today, we're gonna talk about Pacific Rim that we both saw yesterday separately, but it's funny that we both saw it the night before our show. So I figured we need to do that a little bit. And how I'm going to tie it into the show today is that MMA is sneaking their way into movies without being an MMA movie.
Right, yeah, all over the place. And like you said, we saw Pacific Rim, and they were able to sneak a little bit of MMA style action in there, and I was pretty happy about that.
Right, and like I said, what we saw was even in one of the fight scenes, somebody did an armbar, did a Kimura.
You're good.
And And so it was awesome to see, and I was extra excited in the crowd. Like I remember I looked over and was like, "Ooh, look at that MMA move." You know, I kind of knew it was gonna happen in the movie Pacific Rim, just because it's fighting robots, and you know, one of the robots was from China, so I was like, he's probably gonna do some cool moves, some martial arts moves. And so no, it was just cool to see, man.
And it was such a sort of, you know, ode to geekdom. You know, that movie had so much, you know, I mean, the whole premise of it is monsters versus robots. So, right. I mean, you're going to get a little nerdy. So, you know, it was fitting to have the MMA style action in there for one little bit. So it is kind of cool to be a fan and, you know, look at it and be like, oh, I know that move. Like, I can't exactly do it, but I know that.
Right, that's exactly what happened. So just a little nod to Pacific Rim and MMA and movies, and maybe we'll just drop a few more movies this summer in case we see some different things. Just like I said, fun to see our sport merging into movies here and there.
The mainstream,
right.
everywhere mainstream, and you know, just to have, you know, a place where we're at today at Parkside, you know, they have huge MMA, you know, UFC events, and you know, you got hundreds of people, you know, coming and packing in just to watch it, and you know, it's not one of those things where you have people, you know, just at home buying it on pay-per-view. You have people, you know, wanting to get together at a place and, you know, and watch it together. So, man, MMA is definitely transcending and getting into all genres of, you know, entertainment everywhere.
Right. I know Parkside definitely gives people, fight fans, what they want on those fight nights, Saturday nights here. Big time. Talking about getting what you want as a fan, I'm going to roll right into our high kick of the week. Okay. So our high kick of the week goes to the UFC. So good. Like, I feel like the UFC's got the high kick, the low kick. I mean, they're all over the place. Yeah. They get the high kick for this week for giving fans what they want and for finishing off the summer on an extremely strong note. And let me just let you guys know what's going on is why we gave them the high kick this week. Okay, so the rematch is already set. 1 week after Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman fought, the rematch is set for December 28th, year-end show in MGM Grand Garden Arena. Year-end show, which is always huge. So bam.
And then,
you know,
and you know what, the sort of one of the stories that was sort of run with after you know, Weidman and Silva fought was that, you know, Silva wasn't up to doing a rematch. Right. And that was one of the things that he said, like, immediately afterwards. So it was cool that he, you know, had a few days to get himself together and to think about it and to settle in. And, you know, did you see the video that he released?
No, I didn't get to see it.
I was watching SportsCenter. It was early last week, and they had a video that Silva released, you know, in his sort of broken English, and, you know, I ready to fight Chris Weidman, I back. That was pretty much what it was. And with that I back, he was back, and, you know, we'll get to see it at the end of the year. And, you know, I'm excited about it. It's a huge stacked card, you know, with the Rousey fight too. So
yeah, the Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate. I mean, it's probably going to be the year-end UFC card. It is a year-end UFC card, the rematches, because that's a rematch. Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey Part 2, both for titles. Yeah. So the year-end show, they usually do it up right, and it looks like they're going to follow suit with that. So that's awesome. So that's showing that fans talk, they're heard. And also just listen to this lineup. August 17th, Fox Sports 1 debuts on the new network. It's Chael Sonnen versus Shogun Rua. I mean, like I said, that's going to be a good fight right there. Yep. I mean, I think Shogun's last few fights, they were like candidates of fights of the years. So awesome fight there. This one I'm looking forward to. Carlos Condit in Kampmenn, Part 2. Yes. That was, I believe that was Carlos Condit's first fight in the UFC versus Kampmenn. So that's going to be at the end of August. And then a few days later, hopefully this one will be at, we'll be there. Just some, I don't know where we're going to be. We will be there. I don't know where we're going to be at there. Hopefully cage side. So Henderson versus Pettis to end off August. So, man, you can't end the summer off any better than that.
No.
And like I said, I mean, these are fights that fans want to see, that they make sense for the UFC, and like we were talking about before, other than some controversy with the Pettis Henderson fights, these aren't like boxing where it's because of the money. It's, Kampmenn, Henderson, or Kampmenn, Condit is not for the money. It's because they fought before. It makes sense. They're both contenders right now in their division. It's fights that make sense, and that's why I think that MMA still has a respect of that. For the most part, there is still something going on with top contendership, minus a few fights here and there that we see.
Right, and then UFC and Dana White definitely have the pulse of the fans. They hear what fans want, and they try their best to actually go out and put some of these fights on. And that's more than you can say for just about any other sort of sport like this. Boxing, we've been hoping, praying, wishing for certain fights for years, and they never happen. And with the UFC, you can sort of play and match up some certain fighters and say, man, I want to see this, and then within a year or two, it's almost guaranteed you're going to see that. If those two guys are still, with the company and still performing well, they do a really good job of matching up the best fighters and the best fight situations. So, definitely they get the high kick for giving everybody what they want.
Absolutely, man. So good job, UFC. I know me and you, even to go off your comment, we do our own little picks after fights. We're like, this guy just won and he lost, so I can see this one happening. And man, like 9 times out of 10, that's like we'll see it in a few weeks, of something going on. So good job, UFC. Fight fans everywhere. You guys should be excited for an awesome end of the summer. That means our job's going to be easy.
Yes.
I mean, man, we just sit back and chill and talk about some good fights for the end of the summer, man.
Yeah, crazy fun, man. Like it's awesome to be able to do this, and especially it's not like we're covering something boring. We're covering the best of the best,
right?
And the fights that we all want to see as well. So can't get better than that, man.
Well, right, it can't get better than that. But let me go into the low kick. It could have been better than what it was. Was that a good segue? I don't know.
That's a good segue.
Okay,
yeah, that'll work.
So low kick of the week, and it goes to. I want to make this very specific. It goes to the commentators of the Invicta card, Invicta FC 6 this past Saturday. Mauro Ranallo, who is Strikeforce commentator. He's been around for a long time. He's commentated, everything from hockey to boxing. He's best known for boxing and Showtime, and wrestling before. And then they got UFC bantamweight fighter now, Julie Kedzie, and King Mo from Bellator. Those were the 3 commentators for this weekend's Invicta FC card, and I was not impressed at all.
Well, I mean, it's one of those situations where I know that they went out and they tried to do the best they can. The card was excellent. I heard nothing but good things about all the fights.
Right, man, the card was good.
And it's kind of sad when you sort of have the commentary that sort of sticks out. And for everybody on kickandmakeup.com that doesn't know, we have the right to critique because we commentate. And we will be commentating this Saturday for the Extreme Cage Rental Cage Aggression 10 at the River Center in Davenport, Iowa.
Right.
So, we got the right to critique someone's commentary. And, I think we could have done a better job. It's just one of those situations where it sticks out. The commentary at worst should be something, it should just be negligible. It should be something that, it wasn't good, wasn't bad. But when the commentary actually sticks out to the point where you notice that it's bad, that is a bad look for your organization.
It is, and I'll just say too, even I know we've talked about too with having 3 there, it's a weird dynamic. It's because you can play off 2, but that third person, you're always trying to include them sometimes, or they're trying to find a way to get into the conversation. And if there's a good flow going on, which there was a couple of times between Mauro Ranallo and Julie Kedzie, and King Mo would come in and throw something in, and it would just kind of stop the flow of the conversation. And I like King Mo, and I mean I like all 3 of those guys individually for what they do, but it didn't click. And like I said, I've heard definitely people feedback from some of our fights that they didn't like it, we've felt it before. Some fights were just that was not good. And so it's not. I mean, it's nothing that they can't improve on. But I just thought. I mean, and what I'll just tap on the table so in case you hear that pounding. What what I heard, it was the lulls in conversation. Like, they got caught up in watching the fights, which is something that I guarantee it's hard not to do. I mean, you guys know as fans, you sit and watch the fights and you cheer, and as commentators, you can't do that. You love the fights and you do want to just sit back and kind of watch, but they really got caught up doing that a lot, and they're like, I think we should, we're commentating today, we should probably talk. Like, yep.
Right, and you have little bits of time where you can pause, but it should never be so pronounced that somebody's wondering, like, what's going to be said, or what someone's talking about. You can go ahead, go through.
Oh yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just watch out for the cord.
ESPN today?
Not yet.
Almost.
Sometime soon, hopefully. So yeah, and like I said, even I know me and you will joke a lot about intro songs and stuff like that, but man, I gotta say too, and Mauro Ranallo, man, there's gonna be some website that's like the Nick Cunningham hates Mauro Ranallo website, because I did walk in front of him one day at the UFC when he was taping something like this, to where we're cool about it, about people walking through. Yeah. He was not cool. After he had the mic, and then he just flashed this, I want to slash your throat multiple times look, and when I walked through, but so I don't hate Mauro Ranallo at all, but some fighter came out to Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. I love that song. Like, it's cool. It was all girl cars, so there was some interesting walkout songs, and he just gave a really creepy, like, has anybody seen the video for this? And I'm like, ugh, like like, it just gave that creepy, like, chilly vibe, like, gross, man.
And that's
gross.
one of those things that you probably don't want to mention on on a pay-per-view. Like, I mean, that reference is just not appropriate. I mean, I mean, it's of course it's fighting, and there's a little bit of dirt to it, but when you make reference to stuff like that, that's kind of,
I would say
creepy.
even, and I'm probably looking way too far into this, but even on an all-female card, you probably don't want to make a reference to a music video with females dancing around in it in that tone of like, oh, did you see that bikini-clad video?
Yeah.
Like, I just thought like, ooh,
You know what? I hadn't really thought of it like that, and especially when you have women who are out there fighting and trying to be compared on an equal plane to men, to sort of mention something like that is it's kind of slimeball.
It had that feel. Like, and we'll wrap up quick with the low kick because we got some good bull kick today. But even King Mo too. Obviously, for the all-female fight, you've got the women in different positions and fighting. And, I know at the UFCs, you hear people cheer when they're in different positions.
Right.
Woo, whatever. It's a little different, visually a little different than it is for guys. And so I think King Mo got caught up in some of those, too, because there would be some positions where on TV you're, like, watching, like, well, that's interesting. And King Mo would just be like, duh, duh, duh. Like, he was just caught up staring at ass or something. And it was just like... You got to keep it professional,
right?
You got to keep it, especially if you're commentating. And so, I don't know, man. I'd like some kickback. If anybody saw the Invicta card and felt the same way, drop us a line on any of our Kick and Make Up Facebook page, at Hybrid MMA, at Kick and Make Up. Email us. Just drop us a line. And are we the only ones that felt like Invicta could have stepped it up with commentators?
Can't be. We can't be.
No, I don't think so. So that's your mission, your assignment from now till next week. Feedback on Invicta 6. We'll give you a shout out on the show.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever, man. Have you on the show? We're in the building blocks of the Kick and Make Up show, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we're open, man. I mean, we're trying to be accessible, just like like I said before, we're at a bar and grill, and there are gonna be people walking through. What does it look like for us to be assholes and be like, what are you doing? No.
Right. No, I felt like I'm getting better now that they're walking through. The first lady's sorry. I guaranteed I glared at her because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it, so I'm sorry about that. But the other people are like, probably overly nice. Come on, go through. Come on. What's your name, Bob, on the show?
Yeah.
So good. That was the low kick, so I definitely know they can step it up. Invicta, that was awesome. Pay-per-view, first time all-female fights pay-per-view. Fights were sick. I want to break down a few fighters later. There was this 19-year-old Japanese girl that was ridiculous. Like, I don't know her name. I can't remember her name, but man, sick. Like, and the fact that she was 19 years old too.
Right.
And just like her stance, and we're definitely, as you can see, I was watching her going, she was tearing it up. And so definitely some standouts from that show. So we'll get to that later. But favorite section of the week.
Yes.
And I will say too that I don't want to drop too many fiance lines or girlfriend lines, you know. Or, well, it's not girlfriend anymore. It's fiance only, and not like I have both. But right, fiance lines. She was saying for the That's Some BullKick, you know, like on Talk Soup when they have their segues like so meaty stuff like that. She's like, she wanted to do like the little thing of like That's Some BullKick. Like we do a little intro of somebody saying that. Of like a little,
I like it.
Like the voiceover.
I like it.
I like it too. So you know,
like
good idea. Thank you to her for that idea. But
we gotta use that. Who's gonna record who we gonna get to do it? Her?
I don't know if that was her saying she wanted to, or we should have somebody, or that was the little way of insinuating that she wanted to. I don't know. You know, I live with her, so I can ask.
And then we can have like, the high kick be like some big manly high kick.
Yeah.
And then low kick.
I like it.
That's some BullKick.
Right.
I can dig that.
Go to Disneyland and just have Minnie Mouse do it.
There you go.
That's weird.
That
She
works.
probably wouldn't be into it.
You never know. From what I heard, Mickey and Minnie were big like MMA fans.
Right. Mickey probably gets out of line.
I'm sure.
Sometimes too, walking around Disneyland, 100 degrees, it's hot. She probably has to put him in arm bars, the ear bar. Boom. What about that one? Ear bar.
You just got to be careful to make sure his head doesn't pop off.
Right. That's gross. That'd be traumatizing for little kids to watch.
That'd be a little tough.
All right. Now that we've strayed, let's just talked about Mickey and Minnie fighting in Disneyland. Anyway, That's Some BullKick goes to Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy, man, you're really messing up your bed, and then you're not wanting to sleep in it.
He's been getting a lot of traction lately.
He
has
mentioned
him a few times in the past few weeks.
And he just won. That was the thing with the BullKick. This is why, Tim Kennedy, you get the BullKick this week, because you're making a bed, you're messing up your bed, then you're like not wanting to go sleep in it. So you won against Roger Gracie at UFC 162. Granted, it wasn't the most exciting fight, but you won.
Win is a win.
Win is a win, right? So you were also coming off of a week where you were talking some BullKick to Dana White about fighter pay, and very vocal about it. And so that sucks. Talking about your boss and then having to go see him next week, fight, whatever.
Right.
But you won, so you kind of zeroed it out or whatever. Balanced it out by the win.
Yep.
Enjoy the win. You didn't enjoy the win because USA Today writer Ben Fowlkes, who I worked with and saw, probably doesn't remember me, but I remember him from the IFL. He was a writer for the IFL. I listened to one of his podcasts, which is awesome, the co-main event. So I'm a big Ben Fowlkes fan. Good writer for the MMA. He interviewed and talked to Tim Kennedy before and after his fight, and he even went to the Tim Kennedy after party that Ranger Up threw for him for the win. One of those promotional ones. And he just said that Tim Kennedy was really down. He was like drinking some cranberry juice and just moping around, and I didn't do the best I could, and woe is me, and I just, that's some BullKick, Tim Kennedy, because you're the one. I'm really mad because I'm saying you're the one that made that stuff. You're the one that set it all up.
Right.
Like you're the one that went out there and fought the way you fought. You won. So step it up if you didn't want the retraction of people talking shit about how boring your fight was. You're the one that talked shit to Dana White about fighter pay. So don't be mad that you have some, friction there. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like just in general about.
I mean, and then too, it wasn't like he had lost. It wasn't like, and like you said, it wasn't the most entertaining of fights. But I mean, be a little enthusiastic at least, And then too, like, big shout out to John Dodson for, we went to UFC. What was that one?
UFC on Fox 4?
4? Yeah.
Does that sound right?
4 or 5? Yeah, something like that.
Then January in Chicago,
yes,
right? Is that what it was? January in Chicago.
And we were privileged to go hang out with Mr. Dodson for a little bit, and
that was awesome, man.
yeah, and I mean,
it sounded like the exact opposite of this after party.
Right. And
like he was bouncing everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, he was in the fight. Okay,
main event. He was the main event fight.
Main event fight. He lost, but he was still great.
And he lost it was for a title. He lost his title shot. So if anybody were to be
Pissy.
Pissed. Be him.
Yep.
Opposite.
Yep.
Exact.
But no,
opposite.
he was bouncing around, you know, real cordial, hung out with us for a long time, like, you know, and we're nobody, really. We're moving up the chain,
Right.
but you know,
Yeah, in that spectrum,
you
for
know,
sure.
but he could have, you know, it could have been an ass, but he wasn't. He was not. He was completely cool. You know, just everything that you would expect a pro to be, and then to hear that Kennedy is you know acting the complete opposite of that, it's really sucking, especially for someone who's sort of, you know, still sort of clinging to, you know, to the UFC. It's not like he's in a position where he can be that sort of asshole to everybody. But
No, it's I believe for Tim Kennedy, his days are numbered. I'm surprised he even got the move over to the UFC. I get it why they did somewhat for marketing, and I will say his military background
Right.
helped out the push, because you know that demographic you want to appreciate, and obviously and have a representative fighter. They had Brian Stan already,
Right.
So and he just retired actually, so I just want to throw that out there. So now, you know, perfect time for Tim Kennedy to step up as the UFC's like military man fighter. Come on, dude, like you got all the chips in a row. That's not it, ducks in a row.
there you go.
God, chips in a row. It's 'cause
You're
we're
hungry.
We're in a bar. I'm watching food come out from people.
Right.
Chips in a row. Anyway, you got your ducks in a row to be a lot better marketability wise.
Yes.
Marketable wise.
Yep.
I don't know. You're Googleable. Threw me off. Now I'm
Yep.
just making up words.
Market,
But anyway,
his
you got-
marketability.
there you go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm a writer too. That's where I go like this. But anyway, you guys know what I mean. Watching, like, it's perfect. It's time for him to step it up, and he's just that mopey stuff. I got nothing for it.
Yep.
Got nothing for fighters that create their own drama and then don't own up to it or don't.
Right.
I don't know.
And if
So,
you're gonna start that kind of stuff, you know, you got to be prepared for all the backlash that comes with it, and you know, to sort of not be prepared for that and sort of wither in the corner and sort of play the whole "woe is me" role, that makes no sense. No
right,
sense.
Right. So that's some bull kick to Tim Kennedy. Step it up, man. You just won, so obviously you're gonna fight again within 3-4 months. The UFC likes you. They have you around. Right now, as people are getting cut, you don't want to be the mopey guy at the after party, because it's all about the marketing. It's all about that too. Unfortunately, it's just not about the fights anymore.
No,
It's about the marketing, and you're going to be that guy who just won. You got a huge sponsor with Ranger Up and a few other people, and they're looking at you, and you're in the corner crying with your cranberry juice.
Right.
That's not going to bode very well for anybody. So step it up, man. I want you to be on the high kick, low kick. Not the low kick, high kick. Tim
Right.
Kennedy could be high kick sometime soon,
Yep.
maybe.
Yep.
So get off the bull kick, man. Let's close out today with talking a little bit about this weekend.
Yes.
Extreme
Big
Cage,
weekend
yes.
for Kick and Make Up. You know, Extreme Cage Rentals, Cage Aggression 10.
Yeah, man. River Center this Saturday night. 10th time they're doing it. Redemption, first time in Iowa. Man, I've already seen some pictures, and so have you. We've put some up on the. People have blasted them and put them up on the show too, and let us see what's going on. It looks awesome. I've been to the fights at the River Center before, and so it's very professional there. It's a good feel there. You feel like you're, at a decent venue,
Right.
For the Quad
Right.
Cities, which they are. But and just in comparison to other, and even Mike said too, when they go awesome time in Knoxville. But I mean, huge step up from transforming a barn into a fight night,
Right.
as opposed to having the River Center fight night.
Right.
So just
Right.
big ups to them, and big surprises are gonna happen. I don't know why I keep saying big, just because it's a big show.
It is. It is.
And we're gonna hopefully we are gonna do a little pre-show from there on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
Looking to grab some fighters that maybe want to get a couple minutes on before they fight. I know that's always hit or miss, because some people like to throw their hood on and
Right.
stay in the corner and just listen to their iPod or music. Others like to bounce around and get a little TV time. So we'll see, man, what we can get. We'll be there though.
Yes.
You and me will be behind the camera, behind the mic.
Yep.
And then literally behind the mic for the show.
Yep.
So-
just when we're in an event like this where we have, the access that we're gonna have, being commentators for the event, we're gonna really try to take the Kick and Make Up fans inside, you know, and to sort of see the things that you wouldn't normally be able to see, like, you know, the stuff that happens before they walk out. You know, and just to see what that sort of setting, that sort of feeling is like, you know, hopefully get to interview some people. And like you said, we're going to respect everybody who's there. If they don't want to talk, you're not going to see them. But if they do, we will definitely get that for you so that you can check it out. There's going to be a ton of stuff going on. Got to mention the after party. You have to have a ticket to the event to go to the after party. And from what I understand about the venue for the after party, it's going to be really nice. So, man, Davenport, Iowa. July 20th, 7:30 p.m. Be there or be dead.
MMA, be there or be dead. This is a scary theme lately. I'll just piggyback off that. I'm training for the marathon, you know, and somebody I work with that, you know, too, won't drop any names, but he's telling me, like, the percentage of people that die during marathons. So before the other day, he's like, train or die. Then he just leaves. And I was like, so what the hell, dude? If I miss a run, I'm gonna die. Like, train or die. So like now, if I don't go to this MMA show, I'm gonna die. Like, God, man, this is scary.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Scary.
That's a little rough.
So,
people shouldn't be throwing those sort of things out into the atmosphere, you know.
But you're right, man. You guys better be there. Downtown
Please.
Davenport is MMA is taking over this weekend, and like you said, the after party is gonna be sick. But we got to get through the main stuff first. But man,
a lot of people always, you know, you sort of have this stigma about amateur MMA that, you know, there's going to be like a chain link fence, and, you know, that, you know, there's going to be guys in there that have no talent, no skill, and they're, you know, going at it, and, you know, then they're going to, you know, roll them out the cage and move some more people in there to see more blood. Like, it is completely not like that. It is so close to UFC level presentation that, I mean, for any other amateur event that I've ever been to, nothing compares to this.
Yeah, it is.
Like, there's so much money put into it.
And this is amateur and pro. Remember,
Yes.
so this is their first time that they're gonna do pro,
Yes.
a mixed card.
Yep.
The after party is at the Black Hawk Hotel Martini Lounge, bowling and Martini Lounge. So with your ticket, you also get in down there.
Drunk bowling.
Well, I've definitely mixed up some dirty martinis and watched some fights at the house. So there's nothing wrong with martinis and MMA. So I'm excited about the whole weekend, man. It's gonna be awesome. And then you know, next week we're also gonna talk and preview the UFC on Fox 8 card.
Yes.
Which is 2 weekends from now. And that's gonna be Demetrius Johnson versus John Moraga for the flyweight title. John Moraga, I don't know a whole lot about. Like, honestly, I've seen him fight here and there, but I'm obviously gonna learn some more about him this week. Demetrius Johnson, we've seen him, man, he's awesome. So that's gonna be action-packed. Last time we saw him was a 5-round fight with John Dotson. It was just like you're crazy fast forward on
crazy cardio, and you know he's one of those fighters that sort of. You might think that he's out of it for a little bit, but then it's like he flips the switch and it's boom. It's like, wow, where did all that come from? And it's gonna be a good one. I mean, it's crazy. Just every UFC event is great in its own right, and especially the main events of these shows. You know, you can't get better than you know what we've been seeing and what we have coming up in the future.
No, the co-main event's awesome too. I'm really excited for it. Rory McDonald. Main training partner of George St. Pierre, TriStar, is fighting Jake Ellenberger. I feel like that's like a pretty much. I gotta say it's probably a contention fight, title contention fight. Rory McDonald is on a tear.
Oh yeah,
he's one of my favorite guys to watch right now, man. He just tore the hell out of BJ Penn. Just you know, a stud right now in the sport.
Strong.
God,
that's the only way I can describe his
that
style.
belt's got to be around.
Strong.
Yeah, man. I mean, we watched him dunk Nate Diaz, 3-4 times a couple of fights ago. I gotta say that strap's got to be around his waist sometime soon.
Oh yeah,
very soon.
Yeah.
The end of this year, early next year, Rory McDonald will be a title holder. So lots to talk about. We're gonna have a ton to talk about next week too. Just wrapping up Cage Aggression, previewing the summer of. Man, we got a ton of stuff, man.
It doesn't stop. Kick and Make Up won't stop either.
So you guys make sure to spread the word out for us, get it out there. Kick and Make Up at Gmail, at Hybrid MMA, at Kick and Make Up MMA, or at Kick and Make Up. I'm just saying, I always end off with saying the same word all the time, like MMA, like whatever. It's because we're excited.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in today.
Big shout out to everybody here at Parkside
Yes, thank
Grill
you,
and Moline.
Parkside.
You know, George Rangel for allowing us to come in and enjoy being here, and we're going to be here a lot, so it's cool to get this working relationship with them.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys. Remember, don't solve it in the streets. Take it to the cage and kick and make up.
We always like punch.
I don't know.
Can't
Too.
reach a leg
I don't
up.
even fight like this either. Karate chops. Like I don't. So I don't know why I default to that, but